What's up, everybody? Welcome to American Entourage. I'm your boy, Stuman.
Jose.
Darian.
Danny.
Yeah, we got a guest today. Long-haired hippie.
Woo woo. Somebody's got to represent for Willie Nelson, man.
For Willie Nelson.
That's it, dude.
Well, I saw a meme in our chat today. What is there something going on with Willie, or you just throwing that out there because that was fresh top of mind?
I think I got a bot. I got attacked by the Chinese, man. There's something going on in my messenger. I don't know what's coming up. So just for the next 90 days, just disregard it.
All right. 90 days, ignore Danny. Just duly noted, you know.
It's hard to ignore Danny.
So, man,
That boy lit.
I'm going to jump right into it this week because I want to have a discussion with everybody here, okay? I think we always got three varying opinions here, but now we got Danny too, so who knows what the fuck he'll say. But, man, you know, in America today, one of the things I don't understand is people trying to bring winners down. And what I'm saying by that is, like Kanye West, for example, the dude's worth $3 billion. A lot of people don't know that. They just think he's the guy that said George Bush doesn't care about black people. They don't realize that he's a fucking billionaire. Okay? He didn't come from money. He didn't come from shit. This motherfucker's self-made billionaire. Okay? He ain't like Trump. He ain't like Trump where he got $1 million loan from his daddy in the 70s or no shit like that. But here's the problem with smart people. Dumb people don't understand smart people. They don't. Kanye's somebody who his brain works different, man. He makes different music. He makes different fashion. He's a trendsetter. He's married to a Kardashian. And people are like, well, man, he don't speak articulately. He's fucking saying some shit. And like, because one of the things he said was Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. And what he was saying, and it was actually very smart what the fuck he was saying. He just didn't articulate it that well. And let me get into this for a second. But he said Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. And what he was really saying was we still fucking slaves. There's still people in the penitentiary. There's still people fucking being trafficked. We're still fucking slaves. There's more slaves today in the world. I know this because I donate regularly to Operation Underground Railroad. There's more slaves today than there's ever been in the history of the world, which makes sense because there's more people today than there's ever been in the history of the world. But it's not like it went away. And that's what he was trying to get out there. Now think about this. I'm going to go off here, and then I'm going to let you guys have your say. But think about the things that Kanye must know. This motherfucker's been an insider in music. He's been an insider in Hollywood. He's married to the Kardashians. This motherfucker knows about sex trafficking. This dude knows about the Illuminati. This guy knows about people fucking buying your soul, right? And I think a couple years ago, Kanye was like, I got money. I don't fucking need you guys no more. And so they turn on him, which we've seen happen with Mel Gibson. We've seen anytime somebody turns on him and says, I'm not one of y'all anymore. Jose knows what happens when you try to lead the gang, Jose.
Say
it. Exactly. Right? And so he tried to leave the gang, and they're not trying to hear this shit. But here's what I think. People say, well, Kanye sounds like a fucking idiot. He's a buffoon. He's bipolar. And maybe those things are true. Probably not, because the motherfucker's got to be a genius or he wouldn't be where he's at. And we have a lot of politicians that do articulate their speech very well. We got guys that can stand up and say things and melt people's ears and just, oh, man, he's such a good talker, right? Maybe if we quit electing people on how good of a talker they were and how good of a doer they are, we got a bunch of politicians that can speak well right now that are fucking retarded. Can we just admit that? Right? Yeah. We got a bunch of well-spoken politicians right now that are fucking retards.
That's a fact. Okay?
I know some good stage speakers that are terrible business managers, right? I know guys that can get on stage and people go, oh, man, he's the fucking greatest seminar speaker ever. Ain't got their fucking lives together for shit, right? And so Kanye, he's speaking like a genius. He's on a different vibe than we are, man. He's on this billionaire, south side of Chicago, fashion creator, creativity vibe. But yet the whole world's shitting on him. We've been saying for 4 years now, Donald Trump's a piece of shit. Donald Trump's a piece of shit. Donald Trump's a bad person, blah, blah, blah. And so probably the most successful black dude alive right now steps up and says, fuck it, I'm running for president. And all of America goes, fuck him. He's like literally exactly who everybody's been fucking asking for. And we're going to run Biden against Trump. He don't stand a fucking chance, right? Whether you like Trump or not doesn't matter, but Biden against Trump don't stand a chance. So Kanye comes in here, has one meeting, and everybody shits on him, which blows my mind because, like, Will Smith, he's got his heart broken a couple weeks ago. Everybody shit on him, too. They're like two examples of fucking good winners that we should be behind, and everybody's like, you know, fuck them. We're going to go riot over fucking George Floyd, a 7-time felon that had fucking dope and shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit doesn't fucking make sense, what's going on in America right now. So what do you think about this shit, man?
I mean, honestly, I've always been a fan of Kanye. Like, we can go back to, like, college dropout days. Like, my favorite song is called Roses. And he was just talking about, if you know that song, he's talking about family. He's like, instead of sending flowers, we the roses. So, like, always been, like, a huge Kanye fan. And, like, being a Kanye fan, I studied Kanye. Like, the first time that they came out and they was talking crazy, I told all my boys, I said, this is bullshit. I said, let's go find this 47-minute, and you can look it up, the actual speech. They literally chop up that shit to make him sound crazy. Mm-hmm. Kanye West is not crazy. Yep. Kanye West is a genius. And if you want to know about real shit, you can definitely listen and follow the Kanye West. Like me and my camp, we always been huge Kanye West fans. I mean, shit. I mean, the guy's a genius. Like, I just don't think the world was ready for Kanye.
Yeah, you know, that can be tough when you're ahead of the time.
Yeah.
And when you're on a different vibe than everybody
That's
else.
fact.
You know, one of the things that Trump's really good at is he's a good speaker because he understands how to articulate shit on a 5th grade level to where everybody can understand it. Kanye's speaking fucking genius speak, man. A lot of people don't understand that. And there's probably people listening right now going, what the fuck, Stu, man? Fuck, Kanye's an idiot. He's not, man. You don't get $3 billion as a black man in America coming from the rap game. You don't get that by being a fucking idiot.
It's bigger than Jay-Z.
Yeah, no shit. People don't realize he's bigger than Jay-Z and fucking Puff Daddy combined. And people don't fucking get that shit.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think it speaks to, you know, the attitude of Americans, like the way that we want to be in the world. It's just easier just to be a dumb piece of shit. I just want to be dumb. I'm going to live the easy life. I'm going to live the simple life. I don't want to work for anything. That's the tone that's been set in America. Right now, we've got tons of people that they're getting their benefits extended. The fuck is that going to do?
December. The Republicans are trying to make it go till December. Yep.
That's going to be a problem.
And now you don't know who to vote for because you're like, wait, the Republicans are socialists too? What the fuck is going on here? I mean, we are fucking confused right now. Right?
I don't listen to the media. I don't look at the news. I don't care about trending topics. Somebody asked me what I thought about the Will Smith situation, and my thoughts were on that were 7212 Briar Meadow. I'm selling a house. I'm not worried about what Will Smith and Jada are going through. As far as Kanye, you can't. Numbers don't lie. I mean, you can think whatever you want to think about the dude, but he's a fucking multi-millionaire. He knows something.
Billionaire.
Yeah.
Multi-billionaire.
Billion with a B.
You know, so, I mean, numbers don't lie. So, I mean, the guy actually knows something. And because of that, what you just said, Darian, I've seen clips of it on Instagram, but I didn't know that it was chopped up. I'm not surprised. That's just what happens to keep people being sheep, you know? The Wolves, just like you, Ryan, bringing up the subject and pointing that out. I haven't thought about it, but yes, I believe it. And that's the reason why I do my own research just like you did. You know, I posted it not too long ago that I do my own research on economics and whatever is going on, right? If I need to know about it, I'm going to look it up. The coronavirus, I've done extensive research on it. Anything that's going on, I do extensive research on it, so.
For sure.
I think everybody else should do that. If you see a small clip and it sounds like Kanye's retarded or, you know, even Donald Trump or whoever, I mean, do your research. Get the full clip. Get all the information before you make a judgment or an opinion.
For sure. I think God is using Kanye because, like, a lot of people came for him, like, with that album he dropped. He dropped Jesus King, and everybody knows about that. But then the choir that he always rolls with is called Sunday Service Choir. They dropped the album called Jesus is Born. And just being like a Christian myself, and then, you know, we all have the same spirit, the Holy Spirit, right? So we know when something is from God and when it's not.
I saw
that is one of the most anointed albums.
They were feeling it, huh? I need to check it out.
There's a documentary.
Man, I even told my mom, I'm like, Mom, like, you got to listen to this. Like, I was like, forget that Kanye made it. Like, literally just, like, genuinely listen and tell me how you feel. Tell me you can't feel the Holy Spirit. Like, God is using Kanye. And I just think, you know, this world is, you know, is evil, and they don't want to see Kanye win. They don't want to see anybody who's getting used by God win, and that's just a fact. Like, if you're going to do the right thing, you're going to fight the good fight, you're going to be different. You know, we're not called to be, you know, the same. we're called to be different. We're called to stand out. And, you know, when you start to walk in that calling, that's when things happen, and that's when things go up. So that's how I feel.
Man, that's real talk, because we know God's biggest winner was Jesus.
Facts.
What'd they do to him?
Crucified.
They killed his ass.
Hated him.
You know, they killed him.
They lied on him.
They didn't just kill him though. They took him. They drug him up the hill, up and
Yeah.
down, backwards and side to side, and tortured him.
Tortured and killed. And listen, like, think about this. That was roughly 2,000 or so years ago, right? Think about, the world has been hating on fucking winners for 2,000 years, and it ain't got better. It's only got worse, right? Like, we got to wake up, people. We got to quit hating on winners. When I see somebody win, you know what I do? I fucking clap for them, right? It would be easy for me to go, well, I'm a Trump supporter, which out of everybody we got running, I am. But it would be easy for me to go, man, fuck Kanye. He don't know shit, fucking rapper, blah, blah, blah. Dude, he's a winner. I'm going to clap for him. Even if I didn't like rap music, which I love, I'll still clap for him, right? Who I'm not going to clap for is these guys that been in office for 40 fucking years and ain't done shit. Now they going to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Kanye's somebody who obviously knows how to do something in business. So I think and this is what I hope happens. And Trump hopefully started this trend. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. But hopefully Trump started the trend of a CEO of a company running our country as opposed to a politician. If we vote for Biden, we're just going back to putting another political figurehead in the place. If we vote for Kanye or Trump, guess what? We got somebody who's actually been a CEO of some shit in place, right?
sure.
The fuck has Biden done? Biden's been in office for 40-something fucking years and ain't done shit. You know what I mean? Like, literally nothing's fucking better because of him. And I'm not saying things are better or worse because of Trump. God knows enough people fucking hate him. The shit is fucked up right now, right? They're doing some evil shit against them. But if we start having, I know I got some friends, I can't name their name on live here, but I've got some friends that are big time popular CEOs that are going to run for president in 2024. And I hope this is the new trend. People don't go, I mean, when Trump started, people said, well, you know, he doesn't know anything about politics. Man, he's been fucking dealing with government contracts for years. He knows a lot about, and even if he don't know politics is bullshit anyway. How's prison politics, fucking Jose? It's some bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. The best thing is to have our country is a corporation. A lot of people don't know this. We're not operating off the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution anymore. This shit went away a long time ago, and we are a corporation. When you have a corporation, you need to have somebody who knows how to run a business, not somebody who like, you think about it. I've worked in corporate offices before, okay? The motherfuckers that were brown nosers and office politicians were pieces of shit, man. They were spoon-fed and fucking cutting deals with the fucking owners and on the side and shit like that. The dudes that went in and knew how to run a company, they were the ones, the manager, the higher standing guys that came in from nothing and started the company. They knew what the fuck they were doing. That's what we need in office in America, you know?
A CEO would be better in line than a politician. A politician creates chaos and then talks his way out of it. That's all politicians do. They just create something so they can go and politic about, right?
Yep.
So if we got a successful business running, we got another Donald Trump in there that's just straight CEO, straight business. He knows he's got a target and he's aiming for it. As opposed to somebody saying, well, you know what, let's start fucking with people overseas. When's the last time you heard something about the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple of years ago, they were our worst enemies. We were going to bomb them. They were about to bomb us. We don't hear that anymore. What happened?
Same with Russia. We
got
were
a
just
different
about to go to
narrative
war
right
with them, and we, you know,
What
ain't nothing
happened?
with Russia no more either.
The coronavirus stopped all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did.
What
But,
the
you know,
fuck happened?
going back to your point of verifying and shitting on people, like, it's so important that we verify, that we stop and dig deeper and go and find the clip. Darren, you were talking about that earlier. Yeah. So many people have gotten so lazy and they're spoon-fed.
They're
bullshit.
living on sound bites.
They are living on sound bites, and we have to dig deeper. We have to do that in the companies that we operate in and the different positions that we're in. I hear you guys all the time. Hey, man, like, don't come to me unless that's solid. Like, we never try to come to you with anything unless it's for sure, 100%, because you can't do anything with half information, right, or inaccurate information. Right. And that's something we have to apply to our lives more and more every day in our relationships, in our work relationships, in our friendships, and with ourselves. We have to look at ourselves in the mirror and go, are we in the best peak physical condition possible to take on what's going on in the world right now? Because what's happening is a spiritual battle. And you're right, Kanye is being used through God. There are many people right now on this planet being used. They're being transformed, and God is calling his people. He is calling them.
For sure.
think the media is just using their tactics, right? Let's say Kanye is as powerful as Ryan mentioned, right? He is the right person. So why wouldn't social media or the news turn it around to make him look like an idiot, right?
They did that to Trump.
Have everybody turn against him, right? Because he is a powerful figure. What if he is in office? How far would we go?
He's not a puppet. Like, that's the thing I always respect about Kanye. Like, the culture, like, I see all these rappers and just, like, all these guys stunting and flexing on Instagram. They're literally taking the culture down the wrong path.
Couldn't agree more.
Literally,
And
like,
not just the rap culture, just people,
Period.
period. Yes.
Period. Like, all right, before this, like, I'm going to talk about my personal life. Like, when I grew up, they, like, when you get a bag, like, we're going to get the Mercedes and the Benz. And I'm like, what? But outside of my parents, like, everybody else never talks about assets or property. Those, like, street dudes, you know, that we looked up to in Detroit, like, they might have $100,000 in jewelry, but they probably don't got 50,000 cash, or they're using it for the next flip. Like, that's the culture we live in.
And the renting.
Exactly. They don't actually own anything. And then when they get in the jam, they have to sell it, and it's depreciated for less than what they got it for. It's just ridiculous. Like, we're living in a culture and a time where people don't think for themselves. And I think it's really going to take some real leaders with some real vision who are anointed and called by God to get people to start thinking how they should and how they should operate. And once we start to get on that frequency, because, like, when you grow, you get it, like, in a higher frequency. And I really feel like it's just getting closer to God. Like, you think different, you move different, you working out, you eating good, you feeling good, you surround yourself with the right people. And, you know, it's just like angels are camped all around us. Like, we just blessed, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just blessed out here, and it's just what it is. Like, you gotta focus on the right things, and when you walking in that light and walking in that spirit, you see the truth. Like, truth is to be sought. You can't go off somebody's word. Like, if somebody tells me Jose said something about me, I'm gonna say, why is Jose talking to you, right? And then I'm gonna go to Jose direct. Like, if I know somebody's 100 or solid, I'm gonna go to them direct. I'm never gonna listen to anybody else ever. Period. So that's
But
just
see,
my
that's
thought.
because you're a brave individual. Most
Yeah.
people are fucking cowards, right? Like, you'll go talk to him because you're not scared of Jose, right? You're like, hey, man to man, you know, and it's not like you're trying to fight somebody. Just, hey, man, how can we fix this problem if there's a problem, right? Most people are scared to do that. That's why they hide behind the keyboard. People send me fucked up messages on Instagram and Facebook every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hiding behind a keyboard, shit they would never see to my face and say to my face. And then they have a fake picture of their face on their profile because they know if we saw those motherfuckers in real life, they get the shit slapped out of them.
Yep.
You know? The other thing that's really on my mind right now is, so I was on vacation last week. And, you know, you're sitting on the beach and your kids are in the ocean. You know, if you're white like me, you're burning your fucking ass off, turning cherry red. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to sit in the shade while my kids are swimming in the ocean, because kids give zero fucks about a sunburn, right? Like, as an adult, you're like, skin cancer, sunburn, fuck, I know too much, right? Kids, they could care less. They're in the ocean all day. And so I'm sitting there on my phone. Half the time my wife is doing, you know, other stuff. So I'm out there. I got boys, so I'm out there with the boys. And I'm on my phone and shit, reading things. And I see this news article, because I like to read the news, but not the traditional news. I read like the Wall Street Journal and CNBC and shit like that. But I just happened to stumble across, when I was on Yahoo Finance, that Chrissy Teigen, who's John Legend's wife, right? She's on some TV shows, was a Sports Illustrated. I don't think she's attractive, so I don't get it, right? She's always kind of got on my nerves, but to each his own, you know? But they pulled up some tweets from her, and she was talking about, like, really, like, uncool stuff about pedophilia and little kids, and I want to go to jail over this little girl doing the splits. I'm like, fuck, dude. In prison, like, people get stabbed behind that shit, and she's just saying it on Twitter. And the crazy thing is, it would have like thousands and fucking millions of likes because she has like 13 million followers. I'm like, nobody fucking thought that was not a joke. Like, I have a dark sense of humor. I will say some fucked up shit. You guys work with me. You know, that's some shit you don't joke about, man. It's not even remotely funny, man.
Don't fuck with the kids,
and
man.
You don't fuck with kids. And she deleted 60,000 tweets. First of all, who the fuck tweets 60? Goddamn, what do you do with your time, bitch? You know what I'm saying? then removed 1 million followers from her Twitter in like 24 hours. Like, that's some crackhead shit. Like, you got to be on methamphetamine to be able to fucking do something like that. First of all, that's a fucking, like, that's crazy, right? Like, a month ago, I tried to delete 50 Facebook pages that I had. Okay, they were like old shit that I didn't need anymore that were bringing my profile down, and I just need to get rid of them. This shit took me like 6 fucking hours for 50 pages. I couldn't imagine 60,000 fucking tweets.
She must have had a team on it, though.
Dude,
She
man.
had to have a team.
Yeah.
But still,
That's a
that's
lot.
fucking crazy. But then the media comes to her rescue. You know, the media comes into her rescue and it's like, oh, she didn't mean it. She's a good person, blah, blah, blah. And then on the flip side, they shit on Kanye.
Let Kanye say something like that. They're going to go crazy.
Oh, God damn.
Come on.
That goes back to agreements, though, right? You always said it. Fake recognizes fake, right? You can't keep it real with a fake motherfucker.
You can't.
But the media's in on that, right? They're all in the same camp. It goes back to the Illuminati thing, right? It's like, hey, you're in the club.
Yep.
Remember that.
Yeah, and you can't leave.
You cannot leave. Yeah.
You know? The other thing that I saw that was, and I'm going to take it back to the Chrissy Teigen thing. 2 or 3 years ago, on episode 911 of the Joe Rogan Experience, he had Alex Jones on there. Now, Alex Jones lives in Austin, Texas. I personally think everybody in Austin's a little fucking off. Okay, that's just like, I'm from Texas. I got the right to say that, right? They're a little fucking off. That ain't normal Texas down there. It's a beautiful, beautiful city, but I mean, it's like L.A. It's not like Texas, okay? And so, he's crazy. He was protesting this, that, and he says some outlandish shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no secret that Alex Jones probably knows a lot more than the rest of us, but he's like Kanye. He's not the best at articulating it, so it comes off as fucking, it's the end of the world, the Illuminati's right. You know what I mean? Like, but he gets with Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan goes, hey, man, you want to hit this joint? And he's like, no. Yeah, all right. So he hits it, right? I swear to God, like less than 5 minutes later, Joe's talking about some shit, and you can just kind of see his fucking eyes glaze over. This motherfucker getting high as hell, right? Alex Jones is. And they talked about they've been friends for a while, so they got high before. So it wasn't his first time like Elon Musk. Remember, he got high with Joe Rogan too. You get high with Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson, Joe Rogan, you get a free pass, right? So he gets high, and he's like, Joe, I got to tell you, interdimensional child molesters are running our planet. And you went, what the fuck, bro? You literally, at that point, 2-3 years ago, however long ago that episode was, you went, what in the actual fuck is this guy talking about? Interdimensional child molesters running our planet. And you go, fucking Alex Jones is crazy, right? And even Joe Rogan's like, all right, dude, you gotta slow down here and kind of elaborate, right? Which Joe's really good at doing. Flash forward 3 years, you're like, maybe that motherfucker knows some shit, you know?
Nah, facts.
That maybe knows some shit. We know that Epstein did some fucked up shit, got suicided. This is all true. You can Google every fucking bit of this, okay? Epstein got suicided. Now, there's 2 people in this room that have spent time in maximum security prisons in aggravated segregation, which is solitary to the normal person. Yeah, Jose got videos right there.
I got videos.
They used to make child molesters fight.
We used to make them fight. That was on Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, you fucking chummos. Get in here and fucking knuckle up.
Yeah, we used to get them to beat the shit out of each other.
And
Funny as shit.
so what happens is Epstein gets killed. He got killed. He didn't commit suicide. He got killed. Now, I told this story the other day, and that's hilarious, man. I told this story the other day.
Fight to the death.
It is possible to commit suicide in the special housing unit, which is solitaire in normal terms. Back in 2001, I did about 2 months in solitary confinement because I got in a fight with a prison guard, and he didn't win, so I had to go to solitary, right? And there was a guy that was arrested for kidnapping his son or his daughter and got in a car crash running from the cops. Kid flew through the windshield, died, so now he's got aggravated murder and kidnapping. That's some shit you don't leave jail for, okay? Even though he was trying to get her away from his drug addict wife, the whole fucking story come out. This dude wasn't in the shoe for, maybe 6 hours, and he hung himself. He hung himself off the side of the bunk. He took his clothes off, got naked, hung himself off the side of his bunk. And there's video cameras. They don't put video cameras in your cell. They put them outside the cells, okay, because nobody wants to watch take shit and jerk off, right? Mm-hmm. So they put them outside the cell, and within the guard goes around, realizes that they go around about every hour. He goes and does his round. He's like, oh, fuck, we got to, suicide. So we're locked up, but we can see the guards running through the window. We can see them running upstairs, and everybody's talking through the vents. Hey, man, the guy fucking killed himself, blah, blah, blah. Fuck, right? So I know it's possible. But when you have, this guy wasn't a high-profile criminal. He was just some dude that made a mistake, that he's in special housing, so nobody fucked him up for being a kidnapper or whatever, right? And so... And he ran from the law, so he was high risk, okay? And this is in a county jail, but the jail was built to be a federal facility, all right? So so that everybody that's out there listening understands, it's a very high maximum security county jail. It's in Collin County, Texas. It was built originally to be a federal USP, and then the grant money fell out behind it, so Collin County used it. And still do to this day. It's fucking gigantic. Back to the point. Jeffrey Epstein's this high profile. You got to watch him because we fucking need him, right? You got to watch him because we need him. You cannot take your fucking eyes off of this guy. And he commits suicide. I don't think that's the case. I think he was killed. In March, there was a judge that declassified all these Jeffrey Epstein flight logs, which you can get online now, and everything else. That guy was killed on vacation, right? Just random murder, okay? The lady that was reassigned that case last month, the judge, okay, so one judge dies on vacation. He declassifies it. They fucking kill him. The next lady gets the case, because that doesn't mean the case goes away. The next lady that's a federal judge gets the case, and she says, well, we're going to go back and classify this shit because that bitch ain't trying to die. You know what I mean? She's like, I'll do whatever the fuck you say. I don't want to be suicided, right? She goes back, but she's seen the documents. So now she's a threat because she's seen the documents because she decided to go back and classify them, right? They send a FedEx driver to her house last week. Her son opens the door. They kill her son, shoot her husband, go in, can't find her. She's in the fucking basement hiding. They can't find her, right? So the FedEx driver fucking leaves. FedEx driver, right? He fucking leaves, right? By the time that story broke, 6 hours later, I saw an article on World Star saying that the FedEx driver committed suicide.
Wow.
Dang.
Man, now, I'm telling you, this is all tied to political people. We'll say the Clintons, but it's political people, period, right? There's like more than just the Clintons involved in this shit, right? But Hillary Clinton, in the last just 2 years, by just my math, the things that I have, and I'm not even researching this shit, just from what I know, is connected to about 60 suicides, okay? There ain't a fucking suicide hotline operator in fucking America that knows 60 people that killed themselves. Who the fuck do you know that knows 60 fucking people that have killed themselves that were fucking, related to? Nobody. So all these people say, hey, man, it's a conspiracy. Fucking, you're weirdo. You believe in some bullshit. And you're like, man, Alex Jones probably fucking knows what he's talking about at this point.
And they announced there were aliens this year, too, so it is plausible.
It is. That's true. There's alien. And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that nobody's talking about, okay? Here's the fucking crazy part. You guys ready for this shit? They're like, all right, y'all keep an eye on me after I say this on the air, all right? Trump created Space Force. That's a military for space. And we know that there's sex traffickers right now because me and my relationship with Operation Underground Railroad, which you guys should all donate to, I've given them, I think, $50,000 this year. That's how much I'm behind them, okay? We know that there's child sex trafficking because I'm involved with a charity that does that. I'm not involved, but I give, so there's some sort of involvement. I know the guys that run it. The other part is we know that Hollywood is doing some weird shit. Chrissy Teigen, some of the other shit that we've seen, right? Mel Gibson said it before, too. And now we have Space Force. So all of a sudden, these fucking interdimensional child molesting fucking claims don't sound so crazy because what the fuck do we need Space Force for? And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw this, but you should Google it. Yesterday, we took a picture of Pluto for the first time, like in 4K. What a beautiful fucking planet, right?
Is it still a planet or was it downgraded? It's like a dwarf.
A dwarf planet.
Yeah,
So in a time when we're supposed to be politically correct, they're calling a planet a midget.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's a little fucked up.
No, it happened like a long time ago. It was back when Tom Cruise was jumping on the couch and they're like, oh, by the way, Pluto's going to be a dwarf planet.
Yeah.
It was an
2006, they downgraded it.
Yeah. It was sad, yeah.
And so we have these things that are happening and we're like, fuck, dude, they're trying to shield us from this information. And we're being lied at such an alarming rate. Right now, if you want information on mass saving lives, there's 50 million articles about it. If you want information on mass being bullshit, there's 50 million articles about it. We log into social media. If you look at the news, you read a website, it's like fucking black versus white. Fucking the Mexican people got left out. You guys got left out. Just last year, it was all fucking anti-Mexican. Build a wall, right? Now the sudden they're like, Mexicans are cool, right? Now it's this fucking black versus white thing. But when you go out in the neighborhood, it's not that way. No. I was in Florida, man. I saw countless people of different colors hanging out together everywhere I went. Right? There'd be 2 or 3 white dudes, 2 or 3 black dudes, a couple different chicks, all hanging out on the beach together, riding in cars together. I see the same shit around Dallas and Collin County. But if we pay attention to the news, we think that fucking, everybody hates each other. And that's not the case, man. We're being lied to and manipulated at such a fucking staggering rate, man. And look, we're 4 smart dudes. You're a business owner. You're a business owner. You run a business. I own a business. Like, we're 4 fucking smart guys. The rest of the people ain't like us, you know?
Why?
Yeah.
You gotta ask yourself why.
They don't want it.
Right.
They don't want it.
Because if we all agree on something, right? Like if we all agree on something, like, man, I thought, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I thought the George Floyd thing, right? Like I didn't know his history and all this shit. Apparently this dude was on Judge Judy. Did you know that? No. There's a clip on YouTube where he was on Judge Judy, George Floyd, where the lady was suing him because he's like, I was cold, and so I kicked this old bitch out of her car and robbed her and stole her car. I don't think I should have to pay for the car because the cops caused me to crash it. Like, the dude was literally sued on Judge Judy. So that tells me he was a fucking actor because Judge Judy's totally fake, right? But I saw the George Floyd thing, and I thought, fucking finally, for the first time, because and I said this on the last episode, because there's all these other cops killing a black man shit. You're like, well, the guy could have been doing this or could have been doing that. There's arguable on both sides, right? I thought for sure George Floyd was the first time we can go, that cop fucking put his knee on his neck. That's fucked up. He should have taken it off, right? Then we find out this guy was high as hell on fentanyl and all this other shit. And you're like, well, fuck, man, I thought he was like an upstanding citizen and things like that. But like, there's got to be people that get killed by the cops every day who are upstanding citizens, but we never hear about them. Because then we would all agree. And the biggest threat to the fucking machine that's coming against us is the rest of the mainstream world agreeing that shit's wrong. And it'll never fucking happen. There will always be 2 sides to argue.
You ever read Freakonomics?
Yes.
So
I love it when they compare real estate agents to KKK members. That's like the funniest shit ever, man.
I walked in on a call yesterday with you telling one to fuck off. That was the funniest shit. I was like, oh, that's cool. He's like, hey, yeah, that's cool. She's like, yeah, we do a great job. We market services and houses. And he's like, fuck you. I can sell my own shit.
No, what I technically said was I'm a better marketer than all of you motherfuckers.
Thank you. Click. Yeah, that was great. I loved it.
So in Freakonomics, there has to be everything that happens, right, that affects the economy, it happens at a specific time, right? With the George Floyd thing, with the cop with his knee. It just happened when everybody got out of quarantine, right? So what was everybody doing in quarantine, right? Suicide rates go up. Crime goes down, though.
Domestic violence goes up.
Abuse,
alcoholism goes up,
The liquor stores are packed out every day. It's ridiculous.
Every day.
Crazy. That was the only thing open.
I'm like, people, that's all you doing is most people are just turning up. Like,
in San Francisco,
crazy.
The government bought liquor and weed for the homeless that they put up in fucking houses so that they weren't on the streets. What a time to be alive.
Everything happens at a specific time, right? If the George Floyd thing would have happened 6 months from the time that it happened, none of this would have happened. Something else was going to transpire and keep us busy, right? Keep our mind off of the grand picture, right? That's what I believe, and I stick to that. I believe in Freakonomics because, I mean, it's everything that they've talked about. It sounds funny, it's hilarious the way they put it together, but it makes sense.
It makes sense when you read it.
It's fucking real.
And they're smart dudes.
Research. Yeah. And I think right now what we're missing is leadership. We're missing someone with a vision, someone that can take us to greener pastures is what we're missing. And until we have a leader, this shit will continue to happen. Whoever's in charge of the media and all that will continue to build hate, will continue to promote it, to promote division, right? division is same thing.
Division is power for them.
Divide and conquer.
Yep.
Right.
Divide and conquer.
That's where we're at right now. They're keeping us divided so they can continue to control.
For sure.
Just like the Garden of Eden. So
I mean,
Serpent
even-
divided them.
I'm telling you, like Danny was saying, it's like a spiritual war out here.
Definitely.
Literally, like, the news is negative. It keeps you just like in a bad thought process. You got, they're breeding hate, which is the opposite of love. People are like, turn up, spend your money. People are spending their money. Their money has never worked for them. So they're just working to exhaustion
They're enslaved
with
by
no
it.
progress. They don't read. They watch TV. They're not even, like, a lot of people are not even, like, a person. Like,
They're controlled.
it's crazy. Like, I've dated, like, a lot of, like, women my age, and which I really don't rock with, because I vibe better with older women who got their lives together and who freely think. And they just, like, we be at the dinner table, texting, Instagram, like, they post the food. I'm like, this is like a simulation. It's crazy.
So, if Jesus, they always say Jesus is coming back, right?
Yeah.
He could be back right now, and the media would have him killed by a cop. You know what I mean? He could have already shown back up, and they fucking got his ass, and we just don't even know about it. We're just still here. They got him the first time. Who's to say they wouldn't get him the second time? And if that leader showed up and tried to unify all of us, that's what JFK was doing. What'd they do to JFK? Shot him right here in our fucking city. Shot him. And then they said, oh, this guy did it. Turns out that guy didn't even do it. Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't even the guy that did it. You know what I mean? It was the fucking CIA that did it, But JFK was a great politician, a great communicator, a great dude. His family, I don't know if you know this, but they have damn near killed everybody in his fucking family.
yeah, his kid died too. John
Well,
Jr. died
in a plane crash over the Atlantic.
This year.
Oh, this no.
What was it last year?
Robert Kennedy was recently. He's been missing. They can't fucking find him. And I watched a Twitter feed the other day because my buddy Steve Kuklo always sends me shit like this, where they were talking. It was two other Kennedys, because the Kennedy, there's a fucking shitload of them. Matter of fact, Arnold Schwarzenegger's married to one of them, right? Yeah. Maria Shriver is a Kennedy, right? And so the Kennedys are the family of freedom, I believe. And just the other day, maybe about a month or so ago, over in Massachusetts, two more went missing. His sister and her son, right? And they found them. They drowned. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And so they've tried to fucking wipe that family off the planet. You know what I mean? Because they know some shit. Okay. But here's the thing. The guy was on this YouTube live stream thing, and one of the people typed in the comments, they're like, hey, if Robert's still alive, touch your nose. And you can see the dude's reading the comments, and he goes, like, oh shit. And this was another Kennedy. I forget the guy's name, but it was like a cousin, because there's a fuck ton of them. Those guys must have they fucked everything, I guess. There's a bunch of them.
Well, yeah,
It's a
they're
big
Catholic
family.
too.
Joe.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they
He was
rolled
the
deep.
first Christian president, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the
Well,
most interesting family to me, considering where Joe came from. Moving Shine and from living from the back hills to raising a family who was running the country, right? Imagine what it took to get there. Right?
It's crazy,
Leadership.
man.
Dedication.
But it goes back to the media. I strongly believe, and I stand by this. I'm a huge advocate for this. I believe there's more good people in this world and more kindness happening on a daily basis than bad.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything that's reported in the media is murders and hatred and all that. I lived in Preston Hollow. I would have never imagined living there. Thanks to a friend, I got the experience to live in Preston Hollow. And why do I share that? Is because it's older, white, money people. And I could walk down the street and walk back up. I knew everybody there. They went out of their way to introduce themselves and tell me their stories, right? They have a huge billboard in the middle of Preston Hollow that says Black Lives Matter, right? Mm-hmm. These are people that I would see in the middle of the street if I wouldn't have never got that experience and thought this is a racist person, if I would have listened to the media. I can go to Bonton in the projects in South Dallas and be embraced by my black community, so on a daily basis, and I hear kindness happen. outside of the media. In my own personal life, there's people around me, a lot of successful people around me. They contribute to things that are non-white, and most of them are white, right? They go out of their way to feed homeless children. They offer money and services, their time, right? I've seen people stand up against hatred, right? And they go out of their way to do it, right? So that's something that's not reported in the media. That's something that the media should focus more on, and maybe the people that have hatred in their heart will start following that example, right? Start promoting kindness, start promoting good things in life, right? Go out and meet your neighbor. How many of us live down the street from someone and we don't know who they are? Go out of your way, knock on the door, introduce yourself. Make a friend, instead of an enemy. It's easy to fight. Me, I come from a violent background. I don't like to fight. I don't like to get violent. I know what it does. I got PTSD behind the shit. Shootings, murders, fights in prison, stabbings. I've been stabbed in the face. I had 27 stitches on my face. It's been a hectic life, right? So I know what violence brings. I don't like the feeling afterwards. Yeah. When I go in, I will try to hurt you where you don't get back up. I don't care if I go to prison, back to prison or whatever, I'm going to hurt you. And I know what it takes to get there, and I hate the feeling afterwards, right? I feel bad when I leave, because I knew better. I knew that the person that was instigating the fight couldn't handle what I was going to bring. I'm going to break your back with this much pressure on your shoulders, and it happens every time. So I don't like it. I don't promote it. I try to leave it to them, and I give people warnings. This ain't what you want, man. Walk away. Well, I'll try to walk away. But if it just can't be avoided, I'm going to give you your issue. I can get there. I just don't like it there because I know what it does. So when I see it in the media, I don't even like watching violent movies. If it's not a comedy or a Western, I don't want to see it. Westerns can get kind of violent, but I'm intrigued by the whole vibe of the Western era. I wish I lived back then.
Want to be a cowboy, Jose?
Kanye just bought all that land in Wyoming. I'm like, man, shit, that's probably not a bad idea,
But yeah, I think I know for a fact there's more kindness in this world than the media portrays, right?
Even in prison.
Sure.
Even in prison.
It's not.
Yeah.
There's way more respect than disrespect in prison. Way more people trying to help each other out. I remember the first day I was in federal prison, there were these white dudes with shaved heads, right? That came in and they gave me some soap and shit like that. And I was like, nah, man, like, I'm not trying to get involved with you guys. No, you can pay us back from coming. No. Like, I'm fucking here for a short while, not a long while. I'm good. And the black dude that stayed in the bunk underneath me, he said, nah, man, those aren't Nazis, man. Those are the Christian dudes, man. You can take their stuff. It's all good. So in like the darkest place that you could fucking imagine, there was people in there, and they weren't just coming to me because I'm white. I assume that because of my past experiences, right? But he's like, nah, man, I took stuff from them too, man, and they helped me out until I can make commissary. And if you can't make commissary, they ain't gonna ask for it back, man. They're just good people. You remember Dave and them, right?
Yeah.
They were just good people. And and you have a unit with 3,000 people on it, and probably 200 or 300 are people that you do not want to fuck with, and you want to stay fucking far away. But the rest of them, they're just doing their time. They're just trying to make it. And I think the world's the same way. Problem is the media is focused more on the bad because it stimulates our amygdala, which makes us go, oh, goddamn, Like, when's the last time you heard about a kid being kidnapped? This shit doesn't hardly fucking happen. You know what I mean? But like, parents are more scared than ever. When we grew up, shit, you 6 years old, fucking run the streets. Come home before the street light. Yeah. Now kids like keep their fucking 19-year-olds in the house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's fucking crazy. When the COVID came out, Jose and I got a call from somebody on social media, said, hey man, we're gonna put this in the news. We need an affluent person to go get in their nice car, drive to one of the worst neighborhoods in Dallas, and drop off some groceries to this poor family. I said, okay, cool. Within 30 minutes, me and Jose were in Walmart, which was way scarier than the hood. And we went into Walmart. Two things that
This
are
one over
hilarious.
here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
know
dirty,
about
bro.
that.
Yeah. And it was hilarious because we forgot that like Lamborghinis don't really have trunks. So we were supposed to buy $50 worth of groceries, but we bought like $200 worth of groceries, right? Like what the fuck you were going to do over and above, right? And so Jose's sitting in the passenger seat with shit piled up to the ceiling in his lap and stuff. And because you couldn't even fit a case of water in the trunk of that thing. And so anyway, we drop off the shit down there. Jose takes some pictures. We give it back, and there's supposed to be this news story. Well, the news hit the guy back, and we're like, well, we're not going to run a story about a white dude in a Lamborghini that went down there and did that. We were expecting you to get somebody of color to do it because that fits our narrative. And so they didn't run the fucking story. Because a white dude being benevolent to somebody in the hood didn't fit the narrative that they were looking for. So they didn't run the story like they promised the guy in the first place, which didn't matter to me. I didn't do it because of the story. I did it because I was called to do so, and I have the ability to go give to somebody. And so I wasn't like, well, that's fucking disappointing, other than the fact that the fucking way the dude reported it back to me is like, yeah, they were actually wanting me to get somebody who was Hispanic or black to do it. I didn't realize that was the caveat of it. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. What they didn't want to put out there was that people that are different races are actually coming together to help, because that doesn't fit the fucking narrative that they wanted. How fucking crazy is that?
There's not too many things I hate in this world, but I hate that shit. I hate people promoting violence and hatred.
Yeah.
I wish I could get to the bottom of whoever's pulling the strings on that.
Y'all ever watch like street fights?
Yeah. I used to watch the Kimbo Slice fights back in the day.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you notice, right? Because that's what's promoted, fighting, violence, hatred. At the end of that fight, these two guys looking at each other like, the fuck are we doing? And not like the, promoted fights. Right? Where they're fighting for money. Like, people, she said something, he said something. And it's just like, they looking at each other, they looking.
World star.
It's just like, everybody's looking dumb. Like, oh, I'm hurting, you hurting, I'm limping. Like, why did we do that? We could have talked this out.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a boxing background, and I understand the sportsmanship of it. But if you're just fighting just to be behaving like an animal, that's different.
Yeah.
That's sad. But sportsmanship, boxing, MMA, I love that shit. I live off. Because how far you got to push your body to get in that conditioning and take those hits, that takes patience, and that takes a lot of fucking work. Sure.
But those guys are respectful.
Skill,
they touch gloves, they hug afterwards, they hold each other's hands up. That's respect. Just like when you used to fight somebody in school, after it was over with, it's like, man, you usually wound up being friends with them. Like, shit, you can fight, we ain't mad no more. We should probably hang out on Saturday. You know what I mean?
Like, things happen when you get into a fight. You become good friends with the dude, or y'all are just never going to talk. It's one or the other. It's never in between. But going back to that, a lot of MMA fighters. I know a lot of boxers. Some of my best friends were.
I hung out, got drunk with Dana White one night. Shit.
Yeah. So these are the most humble dudes you'll ever meet.
For sure.
Yeah. You'll never see these dudes.
They're not tough guys.
They're not tough guys at all. It's sport. It doesn't come from hatred. It doesn't come from a place that's dark. These are real humble dudes, and they will beat your ass at the drop of a hat.
Well, that's like Navy SEAL. Like I got probably 50 buddies that are SEALs, that are ex-SEALs. I don't have any active friends that are SEALs because they're very secretive. But I have probably 50 homeboys that were Navy SEALs, and they could fucking kill you with a look. You know what I mean? But dude, they're the nicest fucking people. Even David Goggins, who's a very intense dude, he was my mentor for a year back before he was famous. He's a nice guy. He's no bullshit. Don't fucking lie to him. I'm telling you, don't lie to him. But he's a nice guy. He's not, when you meet him, like he and I, the night that I met Dana White, David Goggins, I picked him up with a couple of my friends, and we went to go see Joe Rogan do comedy. And then David doesn't drink, obviously, so we dropped David off and went and partied with Dana White and Alan Belcher up at Happiest Hour, right? David, nicest guy you'll ever meet. You can ask him anything. He'll talk to you, nicest guy. And the dude could literally fucking snap you in fucking half before you could even blink your eye. Ryan Williams, one of the coolest people that I have ever met in my entire life. Nicest dude ever. 8 years as a Navy SEAL. Motherfucker's a certified killer, Garrett Unkelbach, who spoke at plenty of our events. Dude, one of the nicest dudes you will ever meet, man, but can fucking kill you. One time he told me, he was sitting in my house. He said, when you're mad, you make mistakes. Yeah. So I never get mad. And Alan Belcher, who's ex-UFC fighter, now he's a UFC coach, great friend of mine, been a long-time client. He said one time, he said, UFC fighters are the most humble people, or professional fighters are the most humble people you've ever met, because we've all had our ass whooped. Yeah. The only person had never had his ass whooped is fucking Floyd Mayweather. Everybody else has had their ass whooped. You know what I mean? Yep. And even Floyd's a nice guy. I was invited to go to his birthday party back in, I think it was right around Christmas, I think. No, it was back in February because I was in Scottsdale and I wasn't able to make it to L.A. And it's funny, my wife, she's at the Louis Vuitton store in the mall. And she calls me and she goes, you know, these two really good-looking guys came up to me and they're like, hey, we're having a party Saturday. Do you want to come? She's like, no, thanks. I'm married. They're like, that doesn't matter. And she's like, it was Zeke Elliott, one of his homies. Right? She's like, Mama still got it. And I was like, well, let me tell you something, bitch. I just got invited by a chick to go to Floyd Mayweather's birthday party, so you ain't the only fucking one still got it. She's like, but that says a lot about us. You got invited by a chick to go to, it was Kat Sullivan. You got invited by a chick to go to Floyd Mayweather's birthday. I got invited by Zeke to go to a party with him. Like, shit, we made it. Yeah. We made it, husband. You know, we got this. But back to the point of everything here is, here's what I want the people to take away from this episode. Okay, you have a white dude. What the hell are you, Danny?
I'm mixed. I got like 14 ethnicities running through my veins. I'm serious. I showed up in Senegal. I showed up in North Africa. I showed up in, which is very close to North Africa, Mexican. I'm like 20%. I thought I was half.
Yeah.
So you can't believe everything. But let me tell you something. I'm still maintaining that mixed kids are the best kids because we're fucking colorful like the fucking rainbow.
Mutts make the best dogs.
We do make. I'm serious. Yeah. No, there's proof in that.
There is
I'm
proof,
Irish, English. I'm Jewish, and I think there's a little Russian in me too. So and that's about it. I mean, it takes a little bit of everything.
Jose's,
real variety pack.
Yeah. Jose's Hispanic, Darian's black. I'm white. And here we are, we're all best of friends. You know what I mean? We're not sitting in here fucking mad at each other. We don't ever fucking scream and like, oh, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Or your people are doing this, or your people that. It's not that way. So here's what I want the folks to really take away from this podcast and why we're doing this, right? This is why we have different guests every week, and this is why we're doing the things that we're doing here, is the media and the government and the powers that be, we'll call them, they want you to think that everybody hates each other, but we're all proof coming from 4 different experiences with 4 different ethnicities. Jose's saying, I lived in one of the richest neighborhoods in Dallas, and my neighbors would knock on my door and be like, welcome to the neighborhood. And he's a Hispanic dude. You know what I mean? Right?
I'm your average Hispanic dude. I got tattoos and...
Yeah, Jose looks like a fucking thug. You know? Let's just be real. You got gold teeth or diamond teeth and shit. I mean, he looks like somebody who's seen some shit, which he has. I live in a neighborhood that is extremely wealthy. I mean, it is a very nice, it's one of the nicest neighborhoods in the city that I live in, if not the nicest neighborhood. And 4 doors down from me is a black dude with a Ferrari and a Lamborghini, right? It's not a white neighborhood. And then around the corner from that street is another black dude and black family with a Lamborghini and a Jag, right? So it's not most people say, oh, that's a white neighborhood. My neighbors are fucking Indian, like from India. The people down the street are Chinese. It's not a white neighborhood. It's a very mixed neighborhood, but you can't get in there for less than $1 million. And then for those of you in California, you might be like, oh shit, he lives in the hood, right? $1 million ain't shit there. But in Dallas, Texas, that's a fucking nice neighborhood. All of you've been there. Yeah. And it's not just white folks. Like I said, you know, it's every fucking ethnicity that you can imagine. We see the folks walking around the streets, different people. Nobody in my neighborhood goes, oh shit, there's a black guy walking down our street. Like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Everybody's fucking friendly there. You know what I mean? I used to go on bike rides, motorcycle rides, through South Dallas because there's lots of history down there, but it's considered probably the roughest part of Dallas. There was never a point where I got off my bike to get gas or I'm rolling through there and people are like, hey, you in the wrong fucking neighborhood. Everybody's like, hey man, what y'all doing over here? They're curious, you know, hey man, even like really poor, drugged out people be like, hey man, what the hell are you and your wife doing riding around on here? It's like, man, we just checking shit out. Hey, you ought to go around the corner. There's some really cool shit over there. There's everybody's fucking friendly, but you look at the news and you're like, fuck, everybody hates each other. And it's just not the case. It's just not the case.
Do your research.
Verify, and love people. Jose, I loved what you said. And like, you gotta love people, gotta show them beauty, show them kindness, show them where you live. Do something nice for someone and don't tell anyone. Like, do something so amazing that like it makes you cry because you know that it's gonna help that person. We do have to love each other. We do have to verify.
There's more kindness in this world than hatred. There's more love. There's more kindness happening.
It's on our nature to be loving. Like whenever I see like somebody acting tough, I be like listening to them.
You know where that comes
They be
from?
overexerting in
That
every
comes
way
from fear.
possible.
That comes
Yeah.
from fear. When people are,
Yeah.
they're angry, that comes from fear. When people got a chip on their shoulder like that, it comes from fear.
Yep.
Fear
I
and
see
insecurity.
through that.
Yep.
Trust me.
Yeah.
It comes from fear.
So that's
I
our
done seen some
time
people
on.
break down.
Yep. That's our time on this one. You can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Hardcore Closer. Ryan Stuman on Facebook.
Jose Escamilla Jr. on Facebook. Look me up there. You'll find everything else.
Cool.
Gonna get you on the IG, Jose, at Danny Galvez 2 on IG or Danny Galvez on Facebook.
That's Darian Stevens with a PH. That's on Facebook, and it's Darian Darian Stevens with a PH 1 on IG.
Yeah, I feel like you really missed out on the handle. You should have had like a PhD. It's Darian Stevens with a PhD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I might have to incorporate that.
Yeah, I did that.
The
So-
doctor.
We'll be back. We'll be back next week with another guest. We'll be talking some more relevant stuff. You know, if you guys enjoy this, make sure you share it on social media. Follow us. Send it to a friend, somebody that needs to hear these perspectives. There's not a show like this out there. This isn't scripted. We didn't even come in here and go, "Hey, here's what we're going to talk about today." We just came out of the gate and had a normal conversation. And we've said it before. Darren's from Detroit. He's from up north. Jose's from the hood in East or West Dallas.
West
Dallas. You know, I'm from the East Dallas. You know, Danny, where the fuck are you from? The goddamn country.
Actually, I was raised in North Carolina. I was born in Oklahoma, just up the road. But I lived
We
in,
won't hold that against you.
Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate North Texas, but
North
no,
Texas.
all my family's from H-Town,
Yeah.
and I just came in from the country, but.
But before you came to work here, you were like in the middle of the sticks.
Yeah, I was
you know?
like out. Yeah, I was like, "Hi, what's up? Hey, is that your sheep? I like it. It's kind of cute." So I was like, "Man, I gotta get the fuck out of here." So thank God. But I love the town that I was in. They were good people. They were down to earth, and it's like you said, man. Like there's good people everywhere. If you're paying attention and you're watching, you'll find them. They draw them right to you.
All you need is love.
That's it. We out.